everybody. I just wanted to say hello. We're live, and hopefully you are doing well. And I am here today to talk about social media and what you can do as a business owner to improve your social media and improve your presence on social media. Before I get started, though, I wanted to basically talk to you a little bit about what I'm going to be doing today. And the way that I have broken this presentation down is one of the questions I get from my clients is, I don't know where to start with social media. I don't know how to go about doing this or where to begin. So can you help me out with that? And a lot of times they want to do it themselves, but they're not quite equipped to even know where to start with that process. So what I've done is I've created a guide. And so I've created a guide that will sort of walk you through what that process needs to look like, walk you through how to get started and how to identify those things that you need to identify with relation to how you're going to go about beginning your process of tackling social media. And it's the timeline that I've put together is about a 30-day timeline. And so it's about a month. And so but what it will do in that course of that month is that it will help you to engage with your social media listeners and your social media followers over the course of that month. And so before I get started, I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to chat with you about this. If you are here from Alignable, please let me know. Send me a direct message. I have something I want to give you. And if you're interested in getting a copy of this guide that I put together, feel free to send me a direct message as well, because I can give that to you as well, and send that to you, and you'll be able to take a look at that and actually have it in front of you and use it for yourself. And so with that, I wanted to get started, but I wanted to talk, take advantage of an opportunity to go a little bit off script and talk a little bit about something that I've been talking about the last couple of days on a couple of different boards with regards to Google Web Vitals. And Google Web Vitals is really a tool that Google is going to use to help with identifying websites and how they rank. And so it's going to start affecting your web rankings almost immediately. And so with that, what it is I have written an article about it. If you're interested in that article, it's a mini blog. The mini blog has access to Google Search Console, and Google Search Console will help you now to identify the weaknesses in your website and how you will rank and about where you will rank with relation to with relation to website speed, mobile first, and other aspects that are going to be part of Google Core Web Vitals. And so please send me a direct message to that as well if you would like to get a copy of that mini blog or get the link when I post that related to how and where your website will rank on Google. So let's get started. So like I said, I've broken this down into a quick 30-day type approach to how you can optimize your social media for your followers, and it basically breaks it down by week. And so it starts with a week, and then each day there is a process, there is a task for you to follow, and so I feel like it's a pretty good quality piece of material, and so I wanted to kind of just go over it with you and help and basically give you some of the highlights of what's important about it. So couple things though that are not in this guide that I wanted to give you a heads up on that you need to be cognizant of, and that is that when you're planning your social media as a business owner, you want to devote that time to your business. You don't want to devote that time to constantly feeding the social media machine. And so the way to do that is to invest in a social media calendaring app. And so those are really important. There's social media calendars like HeyOrca and Hootsuite. And my company even has a product that we use for social calendaring. And it's really important that you do that, because you don't want to devote every day to social media. You don't want to devote every day to your online presence. You got to do operations. You got to focus on other aspects of it, but you want to be sure that you have some sort of focus on doing marketing at least once or twice a month. You want to be able to plan that out. So I strongly recommend getting a social media calendaring app like Hootsuite or HeyOrca, or reach out to me and I can help you with one of those as well. So getting started. Getting started by developing your profiles on the right platforms. And what does that mean? So that simply put, where does your business going to be the most successful on social media? And so in order to understand that better, you've got to understand where your competitors are. So you've got to research your competitors, and you want to research your competitors on all the social media apps. And that includes some of the ones that you wouldn't even be thinking about possibly, like TikTok. So a lot of people ask me, what's the best kind of post? Well, I can't answer that for your business. You've got to be able to research your competition and understand what mediums they're using, what are they in, what are they using to ensure that they are optimized on social media, and how are they doing it. And so sometimes that may be video. And so if you're going to utilize video, obviously YouTube and Vimeo are going to be your first choice for posting what's called long form video. Long form video is what I'm doing right now. I'm doing it live because it ranks a little bit better. But long form video is a longer video. It has a more in-depth process. But if you wanted to take something like a checklist, if you have a checklist of top 10 things that your business does that people will want, the reason that people want to be engaged with your business, you can turn that into what's called short form video. And so each bullet point can become a short form video. And so you can do that via TikTok. And TikTok is one of the fastest growing mediums. And it's not just for, everybody thinks it's for millennials. Millennials feel like it's being taken over by the older crowd. But TikTok is transcending a lot of different generations. And TikTok is providing relevant material that people are using for consumption, and it's really become a popular medium. And I want to say, while you're watching this, if you have questions about something I say, or you want to contribute to the conversation a little bit further, go ahead and post a comment. I'll post those comments up, and we can talk about that as a group. Would love to have some interactive conversation. Don't be shy. Don't hold back. Go ahead and ask me some questions, and I'm happy to chat about those and address those questions. Or if I don't have an answer, maybe one of my friends that's on here may have a better answer than I do, and that's been known to happen. So research your competitors. Back to the notes. Research your competitors. Know what your competitors are doing. Know what mediums they're in. How are they finding success, and what are they doing that is successful in your eyes? What kind of material are they posting? How often do they post? So these are things that you want to take note of and keep track of. And you want to jot down a few notes, and maybe that'll help you to figure out how often you want to have a posting regimen, and how often you want, and the type of material that you want to post up. You want to brainstorm. You want to select your social sites. Like I said, a lot of times if you're doing video, like I said, YouTube and Vimeo are great places. You want to try to use the native video programs that are native within the social media platform that you're using. Twitter has an interesting And so I got a question here from Benita, and she says, thanks for the session. I'm a complete social media novice. What is it about TikTok that sets it apart from other platforms? And I'll go ahead and show that question. Great question, Benita. I think what sets TikTok apart from other social platforms is the ability for TikTok to turn a video into more of a viral content type video. And so it caters better to a short form video. And that seems to be the way that a lot of people like to consume video nowadays. It's short form video means that it's a shorter video. There's a time limit to it. And that time limit falls within, a couple of seconds to a minute, a couple of minutes, and then you're cut off. And so the way that people will do a longer video and break it into short form is by building parts to their video. So part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. I've seen as many parts as many videos broken down into 12 videos, where there's a video has 12 parts to it, and they post that up in 12 different pieces. And so what it does is the first video is meant to entice people in, and then the subsequent videos tell the story in a much longer form, and take advantage of the sticky status of what TikTok is doing today. And so what I try to do is I try to take videos that are much longer and break those into smaller pieces. If I do a video blog, I'll break that into a smaller piece. If I have a checklist, I don't know what kind of business you're in, but if I were in a business that was, say, an auto body shop, I would find a checklist on the internet. I would literally take that checklist off the internet, and I would do a video around each of the salient points related to that video or related to that checklist. And so each video or each point on that checklist would be a small video. So that's how that's kind of what you can do with TikTok that sets it apart from other social media sites. So it's that short form content that's fed to people in small doses, and it allows them to consume content on their term. So that's the difference between that and YouTube is YouTube allows for you to do a much longer form video. So you can be several minutes long. Same thing with some aspects of Facebook as well, and their native video content as well. Thanks for the question. In selecting your social sites, like I said, you want to make sure that you are working with your partners and you're understanding your competitors and understand who they are. And what social sites they're on, because maybe you're a landscaper, and a landscaper is going to do really, really well on Pinterest because photos and videos do well. You might want to stick to Pinterest. So if you're, say you're doing, landscapers do well on Pinterest, and anybody that has a photo-oriented business. So if you paint automobiles, you're going to want to work on Pinterest. You're going to want to work on Instagram. Same thing with landscapers and Instagram. I mean, photos are going to sell your business, and happy customers are going to sell your business. So you want to make sure that you are focusing your business and your business aligns with the type of social media that you're using. So, and to break it down for you, generally Twitter is going to be text, and LinkedIn is going to be text oriented. Pinterest and Instagram are going to be photo oriented. Things like Facebook and other mediums like that are going to be oriented towards a combination of photographs, video, some text, but mostly video and photo. And then Twitter is expanding what they're doing to compete with Clubhouse, which is sort of like instantaneous podcasting, and it's having a conversation with somebody. I've actually got a friend Michelle, who I met on Alignable, who's got a clubhouse that she does Tech from the Heart every Tuesday and Thursday. And I'm putting in a plug for her. If you have not gone to a Tech for Heart it's about noon Pacific time on Clubhouse. It's a great way for small business owners to understand how to utilize technology within their businesses and talk about that. Last week we talked about long form and short form video blogging, so that was an interesting thing as well. You want to establish complete profiles for social media. In other words, you don't want to have blurry photos. You don't want to have an incomplete about section. You want to flesh that out as much as you possibly can on all of your social media, including your YouTube sites and your video sites. You want to make sure that you have every single aspect of that filled out. That's very important, especially because when they're crawling, the crawlers are moving through that social media. They're going to want complete profiles, and they want those profiles to match up. And that includes your Google My Business as well. I've always talked about this ad nauseum. That's important to have a complete Google My Business profile as well, which includes attaching your social media profiles to that Google My Business. So how, a lot of people ask me, how do you get followers, and how do I get people to follow my content? You want to start with your friends. Start with the people that you already have on social media. Get them to follow. If somebody likes one of your posts on Facebook, you can invite them to like your page from that. If you click on those little thumbs up signs, I've got 2 of them right now. If everybody on this site, there's a couple of you on here. If you all click that a couple times for me, click the thumbs up, that means that they move that content up. That content gets a lot more attention. So that's super helpful. And you can then invite those individuals to like your page. Reach out to every relevant contact that you have, including your existing customers. How do you do that? Well, send them a simple email, send them a simple text message, ask them to like your social media profiles. Those are really important. And if you're able to do it, and your business is one of those businesses that it works, try reaching out and saying something as simple as, and this, I'm going to read this verbatim: "Hello world," insert your business name, is now on social media channel, and list the channel. Follow us and share this post with your friends to receive 10% off your next order. And so that's something that you can do simple to get them to like your social media profile and give it some stickiness and some shareability to it. So that's what you want to do when you begin the process of entering into social media and establishing your social media presence. You always want to keep your personal and your business social media separate. Those are really important keys to being successful on social media, is making sure that you separate those two out. And then you want to start to test your posts. And how do you do that? So that has to do with times of the week and times of the day within that week that you're sharing your posts. And just to rattle off some interesting statistics from a couple of different sites that do this. Hootsuite does this. There's a couple of other social media sites that every once in a while put out information for businesses to understand when the best time to post is and when it's most appropriate to post. Knowing when to post is important. So usually we, for things like Facebook and Twitter, usually weekdays between 1 and 4 are usually the time frame that you want to post. LinkedIn is generally a morning and an afternoon activity for a lot of people. So 7:30 to 8:30, and then 5 to 6. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is when people are usually going to be engaged in LinkedIn. Instagram's an evening activity. People tend to gravitate towards Instagram at about 5 o'clock to about that 7 to 8 o'clock time frame. It's on weekdays and then Mondays and whatnot. Pinterest is a 2 to 4, and then 8 to 11. Pinterest tends to be an evening activity as well, as is TikTok is an evening, is generally evening as well, when most people are going to be on that one as well. But what you want to do is with whichever calendar you go with, whether it's a HeyOrca product or a Hootsuite product or one of the products that I offer, you want to set the message to go out at a time when it's the platform's peak hours. So the platform's going to know algorithmically when those best time frames are going to take place. So you can set that to automatically go off during that time frame. And that's when you really want to do that, because that's when you're going to get the most optimal views, is allowing it to pick based on the history of the posts that you've already sent out. It gathers those posts and then it makes those posts based on what you've already sent out previously to that. So you can do a couple of different things, and in this guide that I put together, there's examples for HVAC companies, plumbers. There's examples for doctors, real estate agent, pest control company. So if you're interested in getting this again, direct message me and I will send you a copy of this guide that will allow you to understand a little bit better what we're doing on, or how to do social media more effectively. And basically the way that this guide walks you through is to help you in how to engage an effective post, whether that's providing tips or engaging your audience with a question. You can do a number of different things related to that. You can share a personal anecdote, talk a little bit about, the company history, post a client success story. Those are really important. And it's one of the things that people fail to do on a regular basis is get those testimonials from their client base, and you need to do that more often. You need to do that effectively. So gathering reviews is one way to do that, and then turning those reviews into a social media video or social media post where you videotape a local client. And there's ways to do that. Happy to walk you through that if that's something you're interested in doing. So that's kind of testing your posts. And then you want to get to know your audience through understanding the analytics. And again, that's knowing based on what you're posting, what type of information you've posted, and then when you've posted that information. You're going to get more likes, or you're going to get more feedback, or you're going to get more impressions and views based on that feedback. And so for each of those posts that you're putting out over the course of that week, you're going to research when those time frames are maximized the most and most effectively, and that's going to feed you what you need to know in terms of getting to know what your audience likes and what they want to hear. And so that's and if you have a problem researching things like keywords and understanding what the internet is talking about, there's a tool that you can use, and I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to be tacky and go on my own internet here for a second. It's called Answer the Public, and answerthepublic.com, or the Google Ads account Keyword Planner. So there's two tools that you can use: Keyword Planner and answerthepublic.com. I like answerthepublic.com because you can type in any type of word and it will feed back to you a map, if you will, of what people are looking at and what people are searching related to that keyword that you're typing in. So it's a really, really cool tool, and it's free, and you get a certain amount of searches per month. You can upgrade to the Pro Edition, but I don't think you really need it, because if you're limiting yourself to to keywords that are within your industry niche, then you should be okay. And it's a little pricey. It's about $79 a month. And if you're not an SEO type person, that is, you really don't need a pro account. So use that and the keyword planner from Google AdWords ads account helps you. It's a free keyword tool as well, and it will help you to create keyword and searches that will show up in social media that will help you be found related to the post that you're putting up. So strongly recommend those two tools. If you're looking to figure out how to type up your posts and what words to put into those posts. Understand who your followers are. Are your followers mostly men? Are they mostly women? What's the age group? Incidentally enough, Facebook is getting rid of its analytics tool for Facebook pages. And so you'll have to use the business suite tool that Facebook is rolling out in order to get insights into your account and what is trending and what's working in your account. So you want to keep track of that as well. If you don't have Business Suites, the app downloaded to your phone, I strongly recommend that you do that as well. It's and I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's Business Suite, and Facebook is rolling that out for business pages, and so definitely recommend that you work with that that tool to make sure that your profile is really good. Yeah, Valerie, I love Answer the Public. Answer the Public is a really cool tool. I can't recommend it enough, and especially the free aspect of it. It makes it really, really user friendly for people that aren't strong SEO folks. It's not their business. It's not their main thing. I can't recommend it enough. It's a great way to also write blogs, because blogs need to have keywords in them in order for you to get the search juice that you need to have, and also backlinks. And so it's really helpful for all that kind of stuff in figuring out what your keywords are going to be and that kind of stuff. So strongly recommend that. And again, that tool is answerthepublic.com. So another aspect of testing your posts is to figure out which type of genre is getting the best feedback. And you're doing this over 2 weeks, remember. So you're going to be able to get to know your audience over that course of that 2 to 3 weeks, 2 week period. Whether a question, a tip, a personal anecdote, or a testimonial is the best tool in terms of how you're utilizing your social media posts. And again, you want to, as much as you possibly can, you want to make it personal. And it's something I have a hard time with myself, making my social media personal, adding myself into it, like maybe I'm working here with a setup, and I've got a setup that you can't see on the other side. Getting a photo of that, a selfie of that, and showing that is prior to or after the video chat is one way to get that out there, that information, and let people see, hey, he's got a whole setup that he does, but it's not expensive, and it doesn't have to be fancy, and it doesn't have to be any kind of super stellar studio type setup. I should have a green screen because I have junk behind me, but I don't have that, and I haven't had a chance to get that yet. So But you want to inject yourself personally into that. So the anecdote's a really good thing. Testimonial, talking about how your business got started. I started my business in 2014, but I didn't really get serious about my business until COVID hit. And I realized that small business owners are going to, and medium-sized business owners are going to have to be on the internet in a greater and more robust fashion. And so I wanted to be in part and parcel the solution to helping them in their digital footprint to find where they would find the most success online, and how they would find that success. It's not always having the tools. Sometimes it's just having the conversation, and that's really where my business is kind of moving to. Is yes, I have tools, but I'm also having conversations more and more about it as well. Analyze your accuracy. Those are really important. It's a really important aspect in your testing phase and your research phase as you're taking a look at as you're taking a look at how your posts are going. You want to make sure that you're looking at your audience interest and that data that you've collected over those 1, 2, 3 days each week. You want to look at that and see the times. You want to look at what were your expectations, what met your expectations, and what didn't meet your expectations. And so those are really, really important aspects in figuring out what is successful about your social media posts, and what do you personally like about your social media posts, because that's a really important aspect too. Because if you don't like what you're posting, and you don't really enjoy what you're posting, your posts aren't going to get the kind of bandwidth that you want them to. And so that's going to be really important as well. And Benita, thank you. I've thought about the green screen, and I appreciate you saying it makes me real and the vibe's more personal. So thank you. I really appreciate your comments on that. So another aspect, you're going to continue posting, and we're moving into week 4 now. So you've done week 2, week 3, and now you're moving into week 4, and you're continuing your posts. You're doing your research. Maybe you're going to switch it up a little bit. You're going to share a link in your website, and one of those links that you're sharing is an aspect of the business that you do. It's one of your business specialties. So you're posting that. I've got sample example posts of what that would look like in here, and those are really, really good in terms of helping people understand both your passion as well as what it is, the value that you bring to the table for them. And so that's where you start to get into the posts that are showing the value of your company. And so you've introduced them to your company, and you've talked about you've answered a question for them, you've answered an anecdote for them, and now you're starting to move into those value propositions and those value statements that are so important when you're working with social media. And all the while, do not expect to have a whole lot of likes. Do not expect that you're just going to have a sudden, all of a sudden there's going to be this huge amount of following that you're going to get. One of the questions that I've asked when people wanted me to when people wanted me to do a session on social media was, what does success look like? And success doesn't look like 1,000 follows in one night or 1 week or a month. It looks like a steady stream of real, authentic content. And that content, from that content, you get a steady stream of slowly increasing follows, slowly increasing likes, some shares, and some increases in feedback that you're getting, some comments in that as well. So that's a really important aspect of what success looks like with social media. unless you're going and you're doing a lot of pay-per-click, you're doing a lot of, you're paying for a lot of ads for social media, your success is going to be steady. It's going to be slow, and it's going to be deliberate. I hope that makes sense. Another thing you can do is provide a sneak peek into your workplace. That's where I talked about earlier. I have a setup. I work from my desk. My desk has a light ring. It has another piece of lighting. It has a camera, and it has multiple monitors. And so I'll do a selfie after this and talk about how successful it was, and encourage people to come back to the replay or watch it on their own when they get a chance. So that's another aspect of what you can do. Inform your audience of a product or service that you have. What is the thing that you're most proud of? I'm most proud, or I find that I am most excited about helping businesses get new and positive reviews. And that's probably one of the most exciting parts of the business that I do. I don't know why, I just like it. I like it when people say nice things about when people get their business and they get and somebody else says nice things about their business, because they in turn, that makes their day. And that's what I really, really enjoy about my business. Because yes, I make websites, and yes, I do social media posts, and I curate social media, and I do business listings, and I do and I make sure that they're optimized in their social media and Google My Business. But I really like the most aspect is getting reviews. And so I'll make a video and I'll make a post about help me help you get more reviews today. And here's how I'm going to do it. And here's why it's a value to your business. And I think about that, and I turn that into a post. And I put that on Instagram, I put it on Twitter, social media, or Twitter, Facebook, and maybe make a few TikTok videos, maybe make a bigger video and break that bigger video up into smaller videos and post that on TikTok. So that's an interesting thing you can do as well. Statistics, infographics, charts, those are all important stuff. Talking about and showing and demonstrating your expertise in understanding your industry, so that you become the go-to person and you have that expert, that content expert that people are looking for in your business. So it's really key. Offer promotion. You can always offer promotion. So, and that can look like make sure that it complies with your local laws and that kind of thing. I can't emphasize that enough. If you've got any questions about that, if you're hesitant, then err on the side of judgment, conservative judgment and caution. Week 5, what are you doing on the 5th week? What are we doing in this 30 days to a better social media profile and posting? Make an announcement. Did you know that we're in our 7th year? Did you know that we're in our 75th year? We're doing this on Friday. Come join us. Contests are another way you can do that. Again, contests have their legalities associated with them. So you want to make sure that you are following your local laws with regards to contests. Express your company mission. What's your mission, vision, and values? Make sure that your clients understand what your business stands for. My business is the tools and expertise that you need to be found, be chosen, and be your best, and be the best. And so that means that I'm going to help people find your business. I'm going to help convince people to choose your business. And then I'm going to help people to know that they got the best quality person within the field that they have chosen. So that's one of the mission, vision, and values that I have with my business. And I want people to understand that. So I include that in my my social media posts. Make sure that they know that. So celebrate staff. I always do staff profiles. If I have more than one person on staff, I'm gonna highlight that staff. I'm gonna show that staff, even if it's just you and another staff member. Highlight your staff member. Highlight the work that they do. It's Friday afternoon at 4:00, and they're just delving into a new project when everybody else has checked out mentally 2 hours ago. Highlight that, show that. That's the kind of thing people would be interested in seeing, and knowing that there's somebody that's dedicated to that, dedicated to them. So celebrate your staff. Those are things that you can do on social media to make sure that that you're demonstrating that your company is a people, service-oriented type of business. Link to your favorite online resource. This is, we're going into week 6 here, and you're still you're trying to still put up different posts. But you're flailing for content. So I go into week 6, and you can share your recent work with a client. That's always a key thing. If you're a plumber, if you're a landscaper, if you're an electrician, you want to be taking photos constantly and consistently of the work that you're doing. And that work needs to reflect in your social media posts. And you need to tell the story of what you do with that social media, so that your clients understand better the type of work and the type of quality of work that you do, and that you're proud of that work, because that shows up in your social media posts. If you're somebody who's proud of the work that you do, that will be demonstrated on each post that you put up when you post it. So that's really, really important. And obviously highlighting why you're the obvious choice. Do you have 5-star ratings? Do you have are you beating your competitors on price? How's your business different? Differentiate yourself from your competition, because otherwise you're marketing for your competition if you're not talking about the reason why somebody should choose you. Don't market for your competition. Don't. It's really key. It's really important that you talk about why somebody needs to choose you. And that's social media, and social media is the perfect place to do that. Again, you're going to analyze your results. You're going to take a look at those. Over the course of that 6 weeks, make notes. Talk about the posts, or make notes of the posts that were successful. Take notes of the posts that made a difference. That the impressions that showed up much higher for certain posts and much lower for other posts, because that's how you're going to judge the type of content you're going to move forward, that you're going to do moving forward. And then you're going to draft your content plan for the next 30 days. And remember, you're going to have a calendar that's going to help you with those posts. And so you're basically going to start the process almost all over again. You want to gather the posts that have the best, and you want to make sure that you are not exactly copying, but you want to cycle that through again. You want to cycle that through. So your first 30-day plan and your first 6-week plan is cycled into the next 30 days. And you're going to do it a little bit differently, but you're going to make sure that you are consistently hitting on those major themes that I talked about earlier and that are in this guide. And those are, again, you're going to talk about why you're the best choice. You're going to talk about what differentiates you from your competitors. And you're going to talk about why it's important for them to choose you versus choosing somebody else. And then again, those anecdotes, those questions, those tips, Those are all things that your business needs to do. Those are things that you need to push as a business owner. Why people need to make the choice to go to you versus somebody else. Social media, again, is the place to do that. So I don't know if there's any questions out there. Again, I've got this guide. It's written up. I went through it here, briefly, or not briefly, about 45 minutes of information that I kind of just threw at you. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any thoughts on or contributions of successes that they've had with social media versus what they would do differently? I would tell you that I am simulcasting this on my YouTube page, my personal as well as my business Facebook page, and Twitter, and then on the event page itself. So I've got this displayed in multiple different places. It will be available for people to watch after it's completed, and they want to go back and get information or understand a little bit better what they can do to begin the process of figuring out what direction do I go when I'm trying to figure out social media and what I'm trying to post. A couple of key things, a couple of important best practices that I always recommend. If you're going to post to your personal page about your business, one of the things that I like to do is first post on my business page and then post that to my personal page with the original link so that people can see that that's my business. And that they can get information, from that page, but they see the original post from my business page, and it takes them back to that page, so they can like that page, they can follow that page. That's for Facebook, Instagram. Always, if you're taking a close-up photo, leave as much of the white space around the object that you're taking a picture of. Remove as much of that as possible. So if you're a restaurateur, and you're taking a picture of one of your number one plates, one of your number one dishes, you want to get as close as you possibly can, and not have a far away photo, a shot from far away. You want that to be up close. So if this phone is what I'm taking a picture of, I would want to leave a lot of the space on either side of this phone off and just get as much of the phone as I possibly can. So that's that's a tip for Instagram. I gave you a tip on TikTok, and doing lists is great for TikTok. Walking through your company history. I've actually seen somebody do their company history on TikTok, and it was really interesting because they did a sequential video that was a timeline that had dates associated, and so they talked about their company and rolled that out in a way that I thought was really creative, and it was really cool. And so that was cool. Twitter is expanding the way that they're operating in terms of trying to compete with Clubhouse. And so doing podcasts are sort of moving. People are moving away from podcasts into Clubhouse, because Clubhouse is a far more interactive. It's like a party line, basically, and so it's a party line that has relevant and substantial information on it that's pertinent to your business, that's pertinent to the way that you do business, or pertinent to some sort of personal interest that you have. And so Twitter is doing that very much like Clubhouse is. I don't know that that's necessarily deemed a social media. I deem it as social media because I believe it's a social platform as much as anything else is. Granted, it's a telephone call, but it's one that is engaging individuals in real time on their terms, and is highly, highly interactive in the process. And so I think that has a real bearing on the future of the way that we will talk about and consume content related to our industries. So that is my take on what Twitter's doing now. So where does that leave some of the other ones? Well, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is moving to a LinkedIn Live platform and a video platform. And in terms of if you're going to, so you might be asking yourself, what do I do in terms of if I'm going to post and I'm choosing to use a certain medium? I don't necessarily just want to post the text up. I recommend photos and I recommend video to the extent that you're willing and able to do that. Video is going to show up on people's feeds in greater number than photos, and live video is going to eclipse all of that. In other words, live video is going to show up above even those photos, or those photos and that other video that's pre-recorded, and you post it up. So that's going to get a lot more hits than just posting up a standard video from that standpoint. So always strongly recommend video. Always strongly recommend. People have asked me about links. If I'm linking up something to my my page, my post contains a news article, a link. That's fine. It will probably not get it's considered more of a text post than say a picture or a video generally. So people will engage it. People will engage an article, and it depends on how you frame that article, and is how they'll engage it. And so you want to make sure that you're posting interesting content, engaging content. Strongly recommend that you stay away from flashpoint stuff from a business perspective. Your personal is your personal. I'm not going to tell you how to run your personal social media, but I would say that your personal social media and your business social media are going to be tied together whether you like it or not. And so you're going to need to be judicious in what you're doing, and make sure that what you're doing is not going to hurt your business, quite frankly. So that's it. That's what I have for social media. Again, if you are interested in this 30 days to better social media action plan, send me a direct message and I will get you on the list, and I will send you a copy of this. I think it's a great tool. I think what it does most importantly is it helps you to figure out, how do I get started in this process? How do I get started in the effort to put together a social media presence? If I'm a novice at it, or I don't have a lot of experience with it, I don't really know what direction to go. It's very deliberate, it's very step oriented, and it's going to help you to understand what direction you need to go in and how you need to get there in a very, very ordered fashion. So thank you for your time. I know I'm probably going to cut it a little bit short. I feel like I'm running close to the top of the hour, and I don't know if I have any more questions from folks. I will check my other channels here and make sure that I'm not missing anyone. No, it doesn't look like I'm missing anybody. So it looks like we have most people are engaged that are going to be on here. They're engaged on it already. So thanks so much for your time. And I appreciate you attending this. I hope it was valuable. If you did find it valuable, feel free to share it with other people, and feel free to reach out to me, direct message and I'll send you a copy of this social media action plan. So thanks for your time, and everybody, please have a great evening and be safe, and most of all, be kind to one another. Thanks so much.